There we go.
Good, Bolt fam. I'm your host, Booga Peters, and welcome to BoltBlitz Uncut. And let me tell you right now, after an almost 10-year hiatus, we've brought back Fan Perspective. What Fan Perspective is, it's an opportunity to let the fans allow their voices to be heard. We've allowed and put so many fans on a stage in which they get to not only spread their exposure and their words and their thoughts out to the fan base, but a lot of them get host jobs and writing jobs and all these other things. We do not need that with this certain individual. We've got one of the greatest Charger fans of all time, in my opinion. Not just this year, last year, literally forever. My guy, Rudy El Cargador Flores. Rudy, how you feeling? And welcome to BoltBlitz Uncut, Bubba.
I'm feeling great. You're far too kind with your words, man. I truly appreciate it. I'm happy to be your first fan experience kind of person. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, I appreciate the love, man. You have no idea how much that means to me, dude.
Well, I kind of do a little bit. That's why I wanted to embarrass you just a skosh. Listen, I've known Rudy for over a decade. Rudy and I have been, we were tailgating at Qualcomm. We have yet to tailgate at SoFi, but I kind of did that dying thing for a little bit, but I came back from the grave. Unfortunately, for those of you who know my co-host, Thomas Powell, may he rest in peace, he passed away. And then after that, or before that, my father, unfortunately, was right side deficit, triple stroke, and dementia. And I took care of him without any medical experience whatsoever. So that kind of put the kibosh on BoltBlitz.com. But BoltBlitz has been around for a while. We just had to take a little break to take care of, keeping some folks alive. And it didn't work real well. But the most stubborn out of the group is still alive. 80 Simon's, good to see you, brother. Thanks for showing up for a guy like Rudy. 80 is also a co-host on this show. You will see him every Sunday, and especially during the season, during post games. That's my Sunday guy. That's my O-line guy, my tight end guy, and probably the best co-host I've ever had, if I'm being completely honest. Rudy, let's get to you, because that's what Fan Perspective is about. And again, we've been doing this for over 15 years. It just took a little break. What we always start with, when did you become a fan and why?
I became a fan in 78, 79. If most people know, I'm born and raised Chicago. I was watching the Charger games as a kid with my brother on TV, because back then we only had 3 channels to watch football on. And Chargers were always on. They had the Air Coryell thing happening. They were scoring 40 points a game. They were fun to watch, and I fell in love with the jersey. Simply put, I fell in love with the jersey, man, and it became an addiction.
You say that because everybody likes to kind of figure out everybody's origin story about why they became a fan, and it can be something that simple, or somebody they liked on the team, like some various and sundry player like a Steve Hendrickson, who long ago played fullback and linebacker for the Chargers. He was one of the last Iron Men they've had. They obviously have Scott Matlock now. Give me Hendrickson over him any day. But 78, 79, so you were grinding. You're out there in the Midwest in Chicago. And because the league understood what Air Coryell, that offense, was all about, they're like, even though it's the Midwest,
yeah,
Chargers being a West Coast team, we're putting them everywhere.
They put him on, and again, fell over the jersey, man. And I begged my mother, I begged that woman until she got tired of hearing my voice, buy me a jersey, buy me a jersey. And she finally just said, to shut this idiot up, I'm going to buy him a jersey. And it was done. As soon as I had the jersey, it was done, man. There was no going back. There was, I love the Bears. I think the Bears are great and everything, but I'm a Charger fan 100%, man. I hope they do well, but when they play my Chargers, I expect them to lose.
I love that. Actually, I told you post-show just kind of briefly. Ironically enough, my father is why I'm a Chargers fan. But that being said, because he was stuck in the Midwest like you, so to speak, he followed a lot of Bears football. So he used to claim them as his NFC team, which was really weird for a guy like my dad, because he's very, straightforward in what he believes in and who he was, right or wrong, by the way. But
yeah, us fans are like that, man.
He's why I am a Chargers fan. and as staunch in support of them as I am. But I will say he did love him some Bears every now and then. He watched some Sweetness. You know, he watched that defense. I mean, come on now. That's the greatest defense of all time. And you know exactly what year I'm talking about. But
that 84, 85 Bears. I know. Trust me, I know. My brother doesn't let me live that one down, man.
Why would he? He shouldn't.
I don't blame him. Man.
I think that when we talk about, we're talking to Rudy Flores here on BoltBlitz Uncut. Again, this is Fan Perspective Fridays. Expect this every Friday. But Rudy, it's not just Rudy Flores. It's Rudy El Cargador Flores. And it's you're everything that you are as Rudy. But El Cargador, I feel like I need to know when he was born and how did that start? And I know how important it is to you, but why?
It's funny that you know that you say El Cargador because before I was El Cargador, I was Rude Dog. All right, I played in a heavy metal band in my youth for 15, 16 years, man, and my name was Rudy Rude Dog.
Before he acts too humble, he can play the shit out of the drums. I'm gonna remove myself again, but go.
And so I was Rude Dog. Everyone who met me was, you know, they called me Rude or Rude Dog. They never called me anything. They never called me Rudy. They didn't call me by my birth name. So it was Rude Dog. And once this El Cargador thing happened, then obviously, you know, I switched it over. The whole El Cargador thing was just it was a costume that I put together for Halloween, man. When I was single, I had a condo out in one of the suburbs, and all I was doing was working, man. And I started to find some stuff on eBay. This is when I started collecting, and I found, you know, I found the cool socks. I found the pants, the game pants. I found the cool jersey. I found, you know, I found the mask online, and I put it together, and it looked cool. And I was kind of a nerd because my original cape is something I actually put together on a Saturday night in my condo as I cut letters out of material to glue them onto the back of a cape. I even went and looked on how to make a cape. And I used it twice.
Went into this shit.
Yeah, I mean, when I take on a hobby, when I take on something like that, I go full blown. It's like what I did with the drums. I go full blown. I went full blown on the drums, man. I invested a lot of money into the band. It was something I was very passionate about. You know, every kid wants to be a rock star. You do the best you can, and if the ball rolls that way, you go with it. If it doesn't, then you at least got to be able to say, "Hey, look, I had fun." And I'm not gonna lie, I had fun being in the band. I love being on stage, man. I love performing in front of people. I have CDs and stuff that we've recorded that I can go back and listen to and go, "Man, I used to be pretty talented once." I'm like, "Hell, that's pretty cool." So when the costume was put together, I mean, I really had nowhere to wear it, so it was just something I put together and I stuck in a box. And I think I wore it twice in 8 years to 2 different Halloween parties. It went over well, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." People liked it. It was all right, you know. And it went back in the box. And then I get a call. I had met the boys from Bolt Pride, and Josh Casillas calls me up. You know, he had tickets to the Chicago, the draft here in Chicago back in 2016, and he had VIP everything. He had all this stuff. He calls me up and says, "Hey man, you wanna come with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, man." He's like, "Well, you know, you got to wear that costume." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That ain't gonna happen, dude. I'm not going out in public."
He's such a well planned out, articulate, intelligent guy. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. So when he told me that, I'm like, I have some dignity. I'm not wearing it in public downtown Chicago, dude. He's like, "Well," he goes, "if you want to go, you got to wear the costume." So I was like, he could call me back, let me know. And I thought about it, I'm like, okay, when's the next chance I'm going to get to have VIP for the draft? You know, we were inside the stadium, second row.
Attention at home. When you have VIP draft status, I had it before. It's incredibly special.
It was, and I didn't know that at the time. I was never exposed to that kind of stuff until I met, you know, the guys from Bolt Pride and a lot of you guys, you know, but, so I called him back. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so then we went, and he came over. You know, we went the morning of the first day of the draft on that Thursday. We took an Uber, which was very uncomfortable because he's in his costume, I'm in my costume. You know, the Uber driver's looking at it like, you know, these guys are going to kill me. He thought they were going to kill him. And we get downtown. As soon as we got to the Uber, we put our gear on. I put my mask on. Is immediate attention. Immediately, the kids were drawn to us. They wanted to take pictures. You know, the news people are coming up and talking to us and doing a quick interview and this and that. And I thought that was pretty cool. I felt good about doing it.
What did that feel like because I don't think normal people actually understand what that's like.
No.
It had fans lining up for you and parents with their children. What was that like at first? And were you like a little bit taken aback, like, oh my goodness?
I was, having been in a band, I was kind of used to that public attention, because we played some decent venues, so we got some attention. So I was kind of used to that. But being the drummer, I was always, I know people find this hard to believe. I was really shy, so I would set my drums up strategically so I didn't have the ability to make eye contact with the crowd. I wanted them to hear me, not see me. So I was used to that type of attention, but not one-on-one, face-to-face like that in real time. So I was a little taken back by it. I was like, okay, and it took maybe a few hours before I felt comfortable going, okay, apparently this is something that people want to, they're drawn to. So the pictures started happening. People want to take pictures. The kids want to take pictures, and Josh and I took our sweet time walking around, taking as many pictures as we let people wanted to take pictures. So it was great the whole time. It was great. Then the kicker was when we're inside the arena, the auditorium where they were having the draft. We were sitting in the second row with like all the VIP people, like the lawyers and stuff of all the players. Yeah. And the guy from ESPN came up and asked us, "Hey, you guys sitting here?" Like, yeah. When the Chargers pick came up, they plastered me and Josh on the TV, like big screen. And that's when everything just completely took over. My phone blew up. People are sending screenshots of the, this and that. And Josh told me that day, he said, you're going to have to wear this all the time now. And I'm like, yeah, no, not really. He's like, no, he goes, you're going to have to wear it all the time now. And this was 2016, and I've been wearing it all the time now. So it's been a trip. It's been a great ride. I love the people that I've met throughout this so far. The impact with the kids, which for me is the biggest thing of it all. That's, to me, it's all about the kids. That's my hashtag. It's all about the kids. And it's been something that's extremely rewarding to me to be able to give back something like that and have all these memories made for myself, my daughter, the kids that are involved, some of the parents. I've had parents approach me, in Green Bay a couple of years ago when I did the meet and greet. I had a dad come up to me and say, "Hey man, you sent my daughter a birthday letter about 5 years ago." And he's like, "I just wanted to thank you because it's her first time in person." I was like, "Oh, that's no problem. My pleasure. Just what I do, this and that." He goes, "She wants to know if she could say hi." So this 15-year-old girl comes up to me, all nervous to meet me in person to say hi that I had sent her a birthday letter, 5 years ago. And when that stuff happens, I realize that this whole Cargador thing happened for a reason. There was a reason behind it. There was some good behind it with all the ugliness that we got going on. So it's been a great ride to this point, and I'm glad I started it. And I'm so grateful to Josh that he said, you wear the costume, you sit at home and watch the draft.
And here you sat there and you told him there's no damn way I'm going to do it. Again, masterfully intelligent guy.
I told him, I said,
those of you who are unfamiliar, he's with Bolt Pride, one of the founding members, along, of course, with Rafael Alvarez.
Yes.
Bolt Pride's done so much for the Chargers Nation, the Bolt fam, whatever you want to call it. Still a fan of Bolt Pride, always will be. Let's get back.
They're good people. Honestly, Bolt Pride is good people, and again, I get, I know all the tailgate groups, Swoop and D, the Bolt Rachos, all of them, but they're all molded from the same mold. They all have the same goal. They're good people to be around, and I've been very blessed to have met the entire bunch of them.
Well, and you are blessed, but I got to get this because it's important to me. I need to know who you were a fan of, who Rudy Flores prior to El Cargador. Who's your favorite player of all time? And now I'm going to say, I'm not going to throw the caveat in that favorite Charger of all time, but I really do, because for example, and this is really going to throw some shade at myself, regarding Chargers fans. My favorite player of all time is Barry Sanders. Now, he's not a Charger,
right?
I was number 20 in high school, and I still have that jump cut, and I'm 47 years old. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate you that shit. But who's your favorite player of all time and why?
Okay, so like you said, favorite player of all time. That's a rough one. I'm gonna go with Junior. I'm gonna go with Junior on this. I was a Charger fan way before Junior came to the Chargers. And when I first got to get my daughter started into football and everything, that was the first jersey I bought her, was a Junior jersey. To me, the energy he had, the drive he had, the way he played, the selflessness, the way he played, injured he played. I'm sure we all remember him in the Super Bowl, practically, with his arm leaning on, hanging off the side of his body. He just to me embodied what what sports was for the game, and him being a Charger just was the icing on the cake. Now growing up, in my younger years before before I became a little more familiar with the Charger, it was Sweetness. I got to watch Sweetness. I met him a few times. On top of the fact that he was a ridiculously great running back, he was such a nice, sweet person. I mean, you would think that this man, to call him sweet, there was a reason they called him Sweetness. He was just the nicest man, absolutely nicest. He would talk to everybody and anybody. He never acted like he didn't have any time. He didn't act like he was too good. He owned a nightclub that we worked at, and he greeted people, and it took him 45 minutes to get into his place, and he had no problem waiting. So he on top of junior Sweetness, back in they're right there.
If anybody wants to argue with you over either of those players, just ignore them immediately. Pretty incredible players. So because of your experiences, and this could be Rudy Flores and El Cargador, or the combination of both, who's your favorite player you've met in person? Because I know that you've earned so many different accolades and attention, if you will, but you've been in some special situations. Who is that one player that sticks out to you that you're like, I'm so glad I met them, and this may surprise people?
It's funny is I don't I haven't been I don't get a whole lot of interaction with players. I don't meet players. I'm never, I've met a few of them. Man, I remember meeting Corey Leggett after a game. Again, nicest guy ever. Walked up, we walked over and talked to him. I've met players randomly here and there. But not like significant to where I get to know them, because, being in Chicago, you're away from there. You don't get to go to all the cool events that they have in California where they have meet and greets. So I can't say that there's one that I've met that I've, that has been lasting. That every one of the Charger players that I've met, including, and I know he's not a real popular guy amongst Charger players, even Dean Spanos. Dean Spanos has done nothing but treat me like a gentleman. He knows what I do. I sent him a package years ago, and he sent me a handwritten letter replying, thank you for this and that. But there's really no one player that I've met. I've met a few here and there, again, in passing. I don't ask for autographs. I'm not like an autograph. I'm not that guy. I just can't, come to bring myself. Not that I think I'm better than, but I'm real shy about that stuff, because you look at these guys and you see them on TV and they're like bigger than person. And then you come up to them. Me personally, I come up to them and I get a little starstruck. I just want to get a quick picture and that's it, So there really wasn't anybody that I met that was, somebody that I stayed in touch with. The cool thing is, I've met a couple back, a few years ago, and they would, when they I've seen you on TV. When they would tell me they saw me on TV, I thought that was kind of cool. But other than that, I mean, everyone I've met, again, everybody I've met from the organization has been nothing but cool. But there's really not one person that kind of, even what was it, Rivers at Gates' the induction, walked by me, and I tried to get a selfie with him, of course, and then it ended up being a half blurry picture. I got a selfie with Gates. I talked to Gates for 15 seconds, but again, nothing significant, no real significant conversation.
So I'm gonna beg to disagree, and in the form that you brought up Dean Spanos. Boy, is that man been under some scrutiny.
Yes, he has.
Half decade.
Yes, he has.
I think it's important for people to hear things like that. A handwritten letter from Dean Spanos.
It was kind of cool. I didn't expect anything back from him. I just sent him I sent him a package because he had met me before. And I sent him a package explaining what I do, reassuring him that I would be representing the Chargers in a very positive way, that there would be no drama, if you will. And I sent him some of the stuff that I did and tell him what I did. And I just wanted him to know who I was, other than the person he saw at the game in costume. Yeah. And to get an actual reply from it, I thought was pretty cool. I got that. Obviously, I have that saved somewhere, and that's something that won't be going into my for sale section.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. And speaking of which, by the way, for those of you who are not aware, because nobody is until right now, Rudy El Cargador Flores will be posting some stuff on our San Diego Chargers lovers page. And when I tell you some stuff,
yes,
at some point he's going to take us on a tour. I got to get more questions with him. But this man has an entire house full of Chargers memorabilia, important, incredibly cool things. Hi, Gatesy. That's my cat, Gates. She's named after. She's also,
of course.
But we'll get there, the memorabilia and things, but we already have one seller, and that's Matt Lidioff of ML Collectibles. He does a great job with trading cards. Rudy kind of takes it to another level. And I'm really excited to see what he has to share regarding that. But before we get you going, because I know you're not going to be able to stop him. You've been to so many games.
Yes.
1978, 79, when you started this thing. What's the most memorable game for whatever reason that you went to? And if maybe there's one or two that stand out to you, go ahead and mention them.
It would be the first game I took my daughter to. I took her, she was 12 years old. I took her to Cleveland to watch the Chargers play the Browns in what turned out to be a 7-degree blizzard, freezing ass cold day. Here she is, all 12 years old, covered up in Chargers gear. We're on the Chargers sideline, 20 yards, 2 rows back. Eventually we ended up on the first row because, again, a lot of people didn't show up to that game, and that was the game that we won 21-0. We clinched the division that day, and she had an absolute blast. She came out on the cover of the San Diego Tribune the next day. That is by far my most favorite game, and I've been to some cool games, but that one is because I got to share it with her, and she had a great memorable moment come out of it. And it was just one of those games where, again, there was just snow everywhere, wind everywhere. It was ass cold, and it was the best game. It was the best game we went to.
Yeah, so how much does your daughter mean to you? I'm gonna go off script.
Oh, she is my world, dude. She's I'm very blessed. I don't know how many people know this, but she's not my biological daughter. I met her when she was 2.5 years old. I met her mom when she was 2.5, and I've raised her since then. And I never became a dad. I never for whatever reason, the big guy said that's not on your cards. But he did say this is in your cards. And when that little girl came into my life, completely changed everything, because I'm pretty positive that had I not been a dad to a child, I probably would not appreciate life as much as I do having been a dad to her. So she is the reason that I do a lot of stuff. She's the reason that I wanted to get season tickets so I could leave them for her. So she had something, because she's obviously as huge a Charger fan as I am.
Seen her in so many pictures. Like, come on now. She's all over Chargers gear all the time.
I know. Yeah, I know. And every time she comes to the house, and I'm not kidding, every time she comes to the house, she gets at least 1 or 2 more pieces of clothing to add to her gear. So she's got more Chargers gear than your average woman who actually probably lives in California.
No, you regardless of where people live, I don't know that anybody has the setup that you have. And again, I'm really excited to give us a little bit of a tour later, but we're going to get to this one. We went with the best and most memorable game. And I love that the fact that you attributed it to the one that, and there was no doubt in your mind, your voice, you were very clear. It was the one that you took your daughter to. I love that it was 21-0. I thought you were saying that y'all went to the game. That was the 7-6 game in Cleveland. This was several years ago. I drove a white minivan there, not crazy. Had a bunch of beer in the back, and I covered the game. And then I met Daniel Locke, who's he started as a teacher and now he's a principal. Congratulations to him. Huge Chargers fan, but we went there and it was a 7-6 loss. And then I got caught in Superstorm Sandy on the way back. And I'm passing, I'm talking dozens and dozens of cars in the ditch. And I'm in this minivan going like 8 miles an hour, just going, this is supposed to be a 9-hour drive. It's going to be about 18, but I'm going to get home safe. Damn it. And I did eventually.
Yeah.
For me, that was the worst game I ever attended. A 7-6 loss. Robert Meacham dropped 2 posts that were scores. Atari Bigby, a safety for the Chargers, dropped a walk-in pick 6 from the opposing 6-yard line. I mean, it was horrible. I wore shorts because I'm an idiot. It was like 6 Cleveland, so the water's coming in. We're watching pregame field goals as I'm freezing to death. They're getting pulled 10 to 15 yards off the kicker's foot. It was insane. But what was the worst game that you've attended and why? And you've
my God. So I have a list of those. I've been to 3 separate Charger games where we were up by 21 points and lost each single one of those games. So those 3 are a tie for just horrible in general. I think the worst one, if I had to pick a worst one, was my very first game at Qualcomm. This was after I had stopped playing in the band, so I had more time to do stuff. And I decided that playoff game on that Sunday night was going to be my first game. I didn't know. I knew 5 people that were from San Diego. I didn't know anybody. I met these people on a chat room, and we became friends. And I went there, and first time walking through the queue, I was just absolutely overwhelmed. I think that's when in the back of my brain, my brain said, "You need more Charger stuff," because everywhere I went, I mean, it was just lightning bolts everywhere. And it was great, and I was having fun and this and that. And I got my punch, and then it started to rain. The rain started to come down, and Nate Keating just missed field goal after field goal after field goal, man. And that was the absolute worst because it was my very first game at the Q.
That's a really tough indoctrination.
It was, dude. It absolutely was, man.
Oh man, and he was the most accurate kicker at the time during the regular season in
Yeah.
NFL history, and then it was just
Yeah.
he went to the hospital and shit every bed.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I left, and I got to see the queue. I got to see these people. I got to meet some new people. But that was, man, mentally and emotionally, probably the hardest game I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was. I didn't see that one live. Thank God. I probably would have left at halftime and partied way too hard to forget now because he hadn't missed too badly till the end.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we haven't touched on this too much, but we kind of did a little bit. Let's dip our feet in the water of the anti-bullying campaign that you really kind of made a focus of El Cargador. And I think that without you saying it, and maybe you kind of leaned into it, it's kind of one of the reasons that helped build this kind of persona in this character that, I mean, it's a driving force behind what you do. How important are the kids? You brought the fact up that kids are important about 7 or 8 times in your first statement.
So the anti-bullying started like this. Again, I had met the guys from Bolt Pride. And again, the costume and the character was getting a lot of attention. It was getting a lot of, they would plaster it on the TV for this and that and the other. And it was cool. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of nice to be acknowledged by Charger fans who didn't know that all of a sudden they saw this dude, with the mask and the cape and everything. One day I was in San Diego, and Alvarez called me up and wanted me to meet him at a grocery store parking lot in San Diego, which I thought was kind of odd. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll meet you there, no problem. And we started to chat. He gave me some calendars to bring back to my Chicago Chargers group. And he starts talking about, hey, it's really cool that the character's getting attention, and it's really cool that you're getting popular because of it. He goes, but maybe you should have some kind of platform. Maybe you need to have some kind of message that you can promote with this popularity. And Alvarez is Alvarez. He said it in the most strategic way possible, and it immediately triggered in my head. He's right. I should do something with this. I can do something with this because, again, the character became pretty well known, and I put some thought into it, and almost immediately it was the anti-bullying thing, and the bolt up against bullying kind of just formed itself, I guess. And maybe I had heard it someplace or something, but and that was it. And once I had that bolt up against bullying, then I started working on the logos and promoting it. And then I said, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm in the Midwest. If I lived in California, I'd be able to, probably be more present with it. But the fact that I was in the Midwest made it really hard because I only have 20 Charger fans here, and most of them are all adults. So that's when I adopted the idea of trying to send that message out via mail. So I started doing the whole, okay, if your kid's got a birthday, send me the info. I will send them a hand-signed letter, a handwritten letter, and some signed pictures, and a bunch of stickers. And that started, and that took off. And I started getting requests after request after request. And I've done hundreds of these things in the last 7 or 8 years. I've been doing it, and I'm still doing it. And it became something that I said, okay, you needed a platform. It had to be something where kids could respond to it. And bullying, I mean, who doesn't get bullied? Adults get bullied, little kids get bullied, you name it. And it became something that I thought, okay, I can push this. I can use this as my platform to say, okay, if I'm going to have some attention coming towards this character, then the character can also spread a good word.
It's not just a good word. And for me, it's a great word, and it's so important. People may find this hard to believe, but at 5'0" with the last name Peters, shit was a little rough coming up. So when I saw that, I was already kind of in tune with you, and I'd met you, and it was already a big fan even before El Cargador. But I will say that when you started the anti-bullying campaign, it was when I started to pay a little more attention. Everybody wants to be a certain representative of their team. And especially after the move to LA, there were the established figureheads, as far as I was concerned, when it came to the way that people were in costume and representing, other figureheads, so to speak, or aside from their actual persona. But you've always you're El Cargador in there, but you're still Rudy Flores, because those are things that matter to you. My kids have gotten birthday letters from you before with stickers in them. Thank you. They're a little old for that shit now, which is why I haven't hit you up in a minute.
Hey, listen, I sent an 89-year-old man a birthday letter because his son requested for me to send his 89-year-old father a birthday letter, and I sent it to him as well.
How'd he feel about it? I bet he loved it.
He said his dad had to just shit-eating grin on his face, man, and it made me feel good because you expect kids, kids are gonna like it. But when you have an 89-year-old gentleman who's a Charger fan, he gets a letter and he likes it, then that has a little substance for me.
Well, when we're running out of gas at the end of the line, it's kind of nice to just have the feeling of anybody giving a shit. So I'm not 89. I've been so close to the end of the line. I can really feel that one deep down inside. I don't know if this is uncomfortable territory, but I did put this in the questioning, and I think it's important because the Chargers haven't had a mascot for a long time.
Right.
It was the former Bolt man forever ago, and obviously for all the reasons that shouldn't have continued to work out, it didn't. There's another one now who's a little bit disparaging to women on a constant basis, so I'm not sure that one will ever work out. But would you ever be interested in being the mascot of the Chargers, the official mascot of the Los Angeles Chargers? I don't know how that works for you in Chicago.
If the conversation came up, I would be a fool to say no. It's not something that a lot of people get to represent. I would have the conversation with somebody and say, hey, and then depending on what was involved, I'm not opposed to traveling. I still work a day job. I often joke that I'm not independently wealthy and I haven't met a rich woman yet, so I still need to work my day job. But yeah, it's something I would entertain. I would entertain because I think I would do well at it. I think the costume is very inviting. So I think that's something I'd be open to it. Would it be feasible? Again, being in the Midwest, who knows? Because then, you got appearances and stuff like that. I've done appearances where I've gone off season to help someone with charity out in LA or in Oceanside. So I'm not beyond doing that as well. But as it becomes a little more tedious when you start getting the traveling involved and then the stayings and all that and the getting back around. But I would entertain the idea. And I think if I ended up deciding no, just the fact that I would have been considered for it to me would be another one of those. Wow, that's cool. A cool moment.
It would be an honor to Rudy because I know the terminology he uses. Listen, I've never seen anybody who dresses up in whatever the costume is, and I've watched enough videos. No, I've not been to Thunder Alley, but I've been to a few. Not yet. Listen, I'm healthy enough to travel now. If I'd quit getting fucking snowed in, we're snowed in right now. Literally, I can't even get out of my driveway. I'm not even kidding. But I'm healthy enough now. Like I got doctor approval. I'm in good well, I'm not in good shape, but I'm in good enough shape to hop on a plane, a train, whatever it may be. Heart's in good enough shape. I don't have any other surgeries. I had another hernia surgery about, 8 weeks ago or no. I don't know. It was about 6 weeks ago, but whatever. I've recovered well from that. Everything's going the way it's supposed to go. So for those of you who thought I was going to die and you weren't ready to put up with me any longer, I'm so sorry, but I'm really creeping back into the fold. I have an incredible co-host in 80 Simons. I'm an incredible producer / co-host in Taylor Bloom. We have a really, really good foundation already started. 80 and Taylor can't get enough traction because there's just so much going on. BoltBlitz Uncut's going to come back, and what's unique about it this time is it's not me just driving it from North Carolina. That's me understanding your plight from being in the Midwest.
Yeah.
It took a long time for me to get to San Diego, and I wasn't there for very long. At that point, I'd lived in San Diego as a child for quite some time. But let me tell you right now, the 2026 season, I'll apologize in advance. You're going to get sick of me, and I'm going to get thinner too, which is going to be sad, but great. But BoltBlitz Uncut and BoltBlitz, we're all the way back. We're all the way back. I have the two best co-hosts and the best producer I've ever had. I expect nothing but greatness from this group, and I just have to try to keep up with the rest of them. And we're going to keep people like this guy, Rudy El Cargador, Flores involved. Rudy, what we end our shows with every time is I need everyone to know where they can follow you, where they can find you, and tell us anything you want additionally about your anti-bullying campaign.
Okay, well, first and foremost, so you have this. I'm assuming you're recording this video, right?
Oh yeah, we're live, but it's recorded.
Okay. So I'm putting this out there right now, man. I have season tickets, right? I have front row end zone. I sit with all the Bolt Pride crazies, the guys who dress up and everything. So you pick one game from the season that's coming up, and you are my guest for that game.
Oh, you're crazy.
All right, you want the experience? You got it. Again, you pick the game. It doesn't matter what game. I don't care if it's a marquee game. You pick the game. You're my guest.
But I'm gonna take you somewhere really nice. Maybe a seafood dinner. I promise.
Oh no, dude, we're slumming it, man. We're going LA style, dude. We're going to the trucks to have tacos, man. Screw that seafood stuff, dude. When in LA you hit the Mexican food, man, there's no way. Dude. It's no way. We're gonna be drinking in front of a roach truck, eating tacos and burritos, having beers right in front of that roach truck, dude. That's what we're gonna do.
It's like me. Listen, man, I sat on a fucking couch in San Diego while BoltBlitz wasn't just born. It blew the fuck up. I was on the dirtiest couch you've ever seen, by the way.
Dude.
And then I would occasionally have some of the dirtiest women join me on that couch, but that's not
hey, what happens in LA stays in LA.
Every second. Come on now. I made my choices intentionally. Y'all could deal with it. Rudy,
we've all been there, man. We've all had that dirty couch. Listen, let not somebody throw, what's that? Don't throw stones or whatever. Hey, man, I'm not throwing any stones, man.
I've never had a house. We don't have walls sometimes, baby.
Yeah. So again, that's my offer to you, man. You haven't been to SoFi. I would love to be able to walk up and down Thunder Alley with you, man, and hit the game with some of the best seats in the house, with some of the best people in the world. The offer sits there, man. So it's on you now.
Boy, I'm not good at compliments, gifts, nice things, or anybody putting me on the spot on air. You fucking got me, man. You got me so good. I've been sitting here this whole time trying to fucking think of what to say. I'll take you up on your offer. We'll figure it out.
Hell yeah.
I'll sing something to you. It's what I do best. I just don't tell people about that. This show's going to take off when we start singing. We're just not doing that yet. I'd be remiss if I didn't make sure I hammered this home, though.
Yes.
You have too many important things that you're a part of. I need everybody to know where they can find you. Open up an account. I know you hate it, but we need to find you everywhere. Tell us where to find you, please.
I'm on Instagram. You could find me under Rudy El Cargador Flores. I'm on Facebook. You could find me under Rudy El Cargador Flores. El Cargador does have its own page, which I post on there every once in a while. Just type in El Cargador, Rudy El Cargador, and I should be the only person that pops up there, unless there's an impersonator, which good luck to them, because one of these days I am going to have to hang this up. I don't know when, but it will get hung up.
You will eliminate them immediately.
Yeah. But just type in Rudy El Cargador Flores. You know, that's the easiest way to find me. Again, my posts are very kid friendly. I've been very conscious of that for quite a few years now, because I do know that there's traffic that comes in from children, and then also, you know, to have been part of the PFUFA, you know, they're very conscious of your online conduct, your game time conduct, your off game conduct. So it's one of those things that for me wasn't too hard, because, you know, that's something that I have been again very conscious. I even go as far as trying not to drink at the game, because, you know, I'm gonna have contact with kids, and I don't want them to be like, "Hey, Daddy, Cargador smells like he's drunk." You know, he looks like he's been hitting the sauce. He's been hitting the sauce, you know. So again, just again, the anti-bullying thing has been such a great platform. I've you know, so much stuff that I've learned to think different now. I don't engage like I would before with certain things, because I find it to be unnecessary. And when I'm at a game or an event, I'm very conscious of my surroundings to see that, you know, everybody's kind of like having a good time. And you know, if looks like something is starting to brew up, I try to go in and kind of be a mediator and say, hey, everybody, let's sit down. I'll buy you guys some beers, you know, just cool out. Everything is cool. So I'm more conscious of a lot of that stuff around me than I was 7-8 years ago. You know, to say grown, yeah, you know, I've grown mentally, because now, again, I just assume not engage and try to diffuse. And that's what the message I push to kids. You know, now when I send them a letter, I send them a really nice detailed letter about, you know, conduct and things like that. So it's something that, again, I'm very blessed I was able to do it. I think I would be honestly a different person, other than the fact that if I had not met my daughter, I'd be a different person had I not done this whole anti-bullying thing with that character, honestly.
The Lord blesses us in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does.
Then the Lord gave you Alexandra, and you don't have to believe in anything, guys. I'm not trying to get overly religious or anything like that. For anybody who's paid attention for 2 decades, I'm not necessarily that. But what I do believe is there's a reason behind anything, regardless.
Yes. Yep.
Let's do this right now, because we already mentioned earlier in the show, and I can't tease everybody like this. Rudy's going to be selling some shit on the San Diego Chargers lovers page. And by the way, big shout out to everybody on that page. We're over 7,000. We're at like 7,300. Really proud of everybody for being a part of that. Yeah, we get some folks on there, but we have a good moderator, a great moderator, if I may, in John Lineberry, and we're looking to add more. But Rudy's got some incredibly unique and treasurable antiquities, not because they're old, just hanging out in that shit that people are really going to want to desire. Do you mind giving us? I don't need a whole house tour, but you need.
I'm gonna see if I gotta
a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can flip this camera around first. So give me a second here, because this thing. I'm like you, man. I'm like technology challenged. So give me a second here.
I'm going to remove you and talk about fan perspective for about 30 seconds. For those of you who are not familiar, because it's been gone for so long, fan perspective is your opportunity as a fan to let your voice be heard. We are a show for the fans, by the fans. BoltBlitz has always been that. We're a little bit different in that we're not afraid to say how we feel. And what is actually afforded me in the past is a lot of access to the Chargers. You would think that, oh, I don't know, this guy's a little outspoken, he's a little brash, probably drinks too much. Nobody knows what else he does on the side. Everybody does. But it's worked. We provide a different stage for people here on BoltBlitz. It's why the players like coming on our shows, because they get to be themselves. They're not concerned about how they're portrayed, because they know that they can trust me enough. We don't push players. We don't ask really difficult questions. We're not trying to make anybody look stupid. We're here to try to do our best to educate, inform, and entertain all of the Bolt fam, no matter what, whether you're Bolt Pride, Bolt Rachos, or all the different groups, or any of these groups out there, Charger Bolt family, you're all a part of the Bolt fam. Already made that shit. It's already long ingrained. The Chargers took Bolt fam from me. They put a space in it. That's all right. They don't do it right. But it's important that I point that out, that the Bolt fam is literally for everybody. 2 rules, a couple, but maybe there's more than this. But love the Chargers your way. Fans it's short for fanatic, which means you're crazy. Don't let any other crazy tell you how to be crazy. And then number 2, if you're at the game, shut the fuck up when the offense is on the field, you goofy bastards. Please shut up. Now, we got Rudy getting ready to give this tour, so I'm about to bring him on here. If you'd like to let your voice be heard, join us for Fan Perspective Fridays. You can find me on Twitter at Booga Peters, BOOGAPETERS. That goes for Instagram as well. And if you're on the Old People app with me, you already know how to find me, Dave Peters. All right, Rudy.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the as much of this as humanly possible. So this is just some of the different masks that I have that I've either not used anymore. And then we get to where, again, this is just a basement, mind you. So this is just a basement. Again, there's Charger stuff everywhere. It's just so much stuff. I think it honestly, and I mean this jokingly, but I sometimes think it would be easier just to kick the bucket and let Alexandra deal with this on her own. Again, this is just a massive display of insanity, I guess, if you will. And again, this is just the basement. So there's just helmets everywhere.
Shit, people.
Right, and then of course this was my passion since I was 10 years old. So I got to let you guys see this, just because this is my stress relief. This was my 40 years of playing and enjoying every last minute of it. All right, so I'm gonna walk you guys this way. Again, you'll see Charger stuff everywhere through here. This is my little desk area where I do all of my writing of the letters and whatnot. And I am going to take you guys upstairs just because you guys need to see upstairs. You have to forgive the mess. I have Charger stuff literally everywhere, man. Stickers. I have more stickers than your average person should have. All right, hold on. I'm going to take you upstairs. There's a cat.
Meow. What's up?
She's like, what are you doing? She's like, what are you doing? All right, so here, this is what you see when you walk into my basement. Of course, I got to have the Bears. You know, we got to represent the Bears. All right, give me a sec. This is the front room. And then here we have a lot of music memorabilia on the wall. But then again, and then we have helmets. There's freaking helmets everywhere. There's helmets everywhere. What's up, kitty? And then there's this room here. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. No sane person.
It's not about being sane. It's about being in love with something. My God, are you?
So there's, again, dude, it's just wall to wall insanity. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love this house. It's got so much stuff in it. It'll be hard to part with some stuff, but you know what? I'll let somebody else enjoy it. Again, you guys, the cabinets are. This is where I keep a lot of the other stuff.
Again, you guys can find some of these items listed on the San Diego Chargers Lovers page on Facebook, the Old People app. And then, of course, the BoltBlitz Uncut app as well. And then, Rudy, anything that you put on X/Twitter, I will make sure. Yeah. David Shaw is saying in the comments, he's saying, I want to live in that house.
It's again, it's insane, man. It is really a lot of stuff that I've accumulated. But if you can see, a lot of it is our old
school, baby.
Yeah.
You better hide that shit if I come visit you.
Yeah, dude. That one, I got this one up here that I found. This tray.
Oh,
it's ridiculous, dude. It's
get that eBay.
I search, man. I have a lot of spare time. So I do some searches and I try to find stuff. I got to show you this. I got to get it up closer. My brother got this for me for Christmas.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was a really cool guy. I'm gonna take you guys up again. I got helmets today. I got so many helmets. I really do need to get rid of some of these. You'll have to forget a little bit of the mess upstairs.
No, we're not worried about that, man. It's BoltBlitz.
So here we go. Again, there's jerseys. As you walk up, there's a full uniform that actually belonged to a player. As you walk up the stairs, plaques. I'm telling you, man, the more I look at it, the more I realize that maybe some psychiatric treatment. Again, you have to forgive the mess because this is a work in progress always. I have more jackets than any one person should have. And then hang on a second. So this is just jersey after jersey after jersey after jersey. The more I look at it, the more headache I get. What size pants do you wear? I can get you a pair of pants, dude.
Oh, I'm a large in the ass. I'm getting fat.
Yeah, well, I got a pair of pants you probably fit you, dude. Those are all authentic.
I'll fill up the front and the back.
Hang on. Then the last room, this is where I got a lot of the smaller stuff too. But
LT Fathead, what is going on?
Yeah, I know.
Jerseys.
Again, more jerseys. More jerseys, and then again, just random stuff, man. Random small stuff that I would pick up here and there.
Oh, that pendant, you fucker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an old one. I can't believe that hasn't fallen off in pieces.
And then again, I got some gorgeous jackets that I probably won't part with, but like these are like official game jackets. Those will probably won't go anywhere. But a lot of the smaller stuff, man, I just I'm not emotionally attached to it. There's some stuff that obviously that I want to save for Alexandra, but a lot of the stuff is just, again, stuff that I picked up here and there. A lot of it is vintage. A lot of it is older stuff. Yeah. My pens, again, it's ridiculous. Everything's ridiculous, dude. It's a happy sickness, I guess, if you will.
No,
and then one day
it's a dedication to something bigger than yourself.
One day, if Alexander doesn't want this will go on the block as well. Oh, that is the suitcase that I've been using for 7 years now. So that's the extent of the house, man. Again, much more impressive in person. So I'm throwing this out there. If anybody who's a Charger fan is going to be in Chicago and you want to come visit, hit me up. I got no problem having people come over. I've done it before. I've had people specifically come here to enjoy my turkey and my surroundings. So, hey, man, my casa su casa. I have a spare bedroom if you're going to be in town, as long as you don't do anything that requires police activity.
Yeah. He's just telling me that he's like, I'm going to have to simmer out a little bit. I understand. Even in my old age, I'm a little bit of a problem. Rudy, this has not only been my favorite fan, and let me tell you, my father would be very upset saying this because Jen Aguilera, one of my close friends I haven't talked to for a minute, but that was his favorite fan perspective. But this is clearly mine. What you need to do is just continue. This is just my advice or my opinion, I guess, is just continue being you. What you're doing for so many people, families, Chargers fans, whomever it may be, it's invaluable because there aren't enough people like you anymore. You mentioned it earlier in the show. It's a dark, dark, dark world right now. Shit's really tough. It's ugly. It's nasty. And I think that a lot of it's intentional. I think that everything's being put in place to cause a lot of infighting, to distract from other subjects that people would like to know more about. But there are people like you who go out of their way to dedicate themselves to making sure that there is not just a light at the end of the tunnel, but your whole life can be bright if you just approach it the right way. I can't thank you enough for being on this show. Do you have any parting words before we go?
I just man, again, thank you for the kind words. Even when you send me text messages, they hit hard, and I truly appreciate it, man. Just what I would tell people, just be nice to each other. Sometimes I use a hashtag, don't be a shitty human. It's easier to be nice, dude. It's easier to let something go. Not everything has to be a confrontation. Not everything has to be an argument. Not everything has to be a friend ending dilemma, which I've seen happen. I've seen people, not be friends anymore for the most, what I would consider idiotic reasons.
I got one of those you brought up on this show. I'll reach out to him because of you. But anyway.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good, man. It's easier to be nice. It's easier to be a good human. Help your fellow brother, help your fellow sister. Enjoy life, man. Dave, sometimes we're not guaranteed a whole bunch of time, man. And, like my age, I got maybe 15 summers left if I'm lucky. And I'm going to enjoy every last one of them. I don't want to do it miserable. I don't want to do it angry. I don't want to do it resentful. Just be a nice person, man. My word to everybody, just be nice, man. Be as nice as you possibly can. Don't tolerate bullying. If you can, walk away. Let the bully simmer in their own little misery, I guess, if you will, and just enjoy life, smile, and pass it on, man. Pay it forward. And anything nice you do, anything that somebody nice does for you, pay it forward. I've had people go, man, how do you do this? How do you do this? Dave, I've had people be so generous with me, man, and I have nothing in my head but to give it back. I give it back. I've gone and done stuff like, when Mary had that fundraiser out in California and she wanted to compensate me for my flight and all this. I'm like, no. I said, we're doing this because you're doing something for, that was, close to her family. You just pay it forward.
He's talking about Mary Sayao, I believe, by the way.
Yes, correct. She had called me and asked me to do an event with her, and if I would show up in costume, and of course, and I said,
love you, girl. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah. So just don't be a shitty human. Be nice. That's my word. Just don't be a shitty human.
And when you're on BoltBlitz, we use shitty all the time. You're making me kind of readdress and kind of think about the way I kind of approach things on this show. This has been a special one. Again, almost a decade gone. Co-host passes away. Taking care of my dad, wanting to make BoltBlitz the greatest thing ever, or continue to make it the greatest thing ever. But it wasn't in the cards. I had to do some different things and adjust the way that life happened, and got a little sick. But for whatever reason, I'm here kicking, turning, and putting out content. I hope you guys can join me more. I cannot promise another episode like this. Rudy, you've been too incredible. Thank you for showing us a tour of your home. Look for his items on the San Diego Chargers Lovers page, on the Old People app, Facebook, and then, of course, the BoltBlitz Uncut app. And then what I'll also do, because I love Rudy so much, I'll make sure to put the items that he would like me to feature on our Twitter, both my personal account and then also the BoltBlitz Uncut account. Rudy, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to sign you out right here.
Thank you, brother.
Everybody told us where we can find you, and then I'm just going to talk about fan perspective for a second.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother.
I love you so much, man. Thank you for joining us. Hey, guys, this is what fan perspective is all about. You're going to learn more about the people you really want to learn something about. If you didn't learn enough about Rudy tonight to be a fan of his and actually put into writing that he should be the next Chargers official mascot, it's been too long. Sure, we want cheerleaders back, but what if we had that guy, not Fireman Ed? Fuck the Jets and fuck that guy because he was a sellout and he gave up. What if we had that guy in the stadium that actually told y'all to shut the fuck up when the team was on offense? What if we had that? I'm all in favor of it. There's nobody I trust more. There's nobody I respect more to do exactly that. Rudy El Cargador Flores. He's got to be the next mascot of the Los Angeles Chargers. It fits. If you're not paying attention, that's on you. This has been, again, forgiveness to Jen Aguilera. This has easily been my favorite fan perspective interview. Rudy Flores, I cannot thank you enough, sir. All the kudos and love to you. Love you so much. Just tune in. We're just getting started. I'm kind of catching my groove a little bit. Rudy made me feel so sentimental that I felt a little hyped tonight, and I kind of needed that shit. So for all those of you who have not liked or subscribed to the channel, I'm asking you now, pound that like, hit that subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in to BoltBlitz Uncut. I'm Booga Peters. Tune in to Fan Perspective Fridays and every other show we have. Don't forget on Wednesdays at 7:30, I am featuring my co-host Taylor Bloom, who also hosts the Electric Edge podcast. And then Sunday is my guy, O-line aficionado, the best O-line guy in the league. Because he works with too many of these guys. Played with them, talked to them, been to their camps, 80 Simons. And he knows a shitload about tight ends too. We're not going to pick on you guys. We're going to be honest, but don't be afraid to hear about the Twittiot of the week, which is the Twitter idiot of the week, because we've got that award coming up. This has been BoltBlitz Uncut. I'm Booga Peters. Peace out, y'all.